We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin. It's been a rough week for the Biden administration. A new Quinnipiac poll came out showing a rapidly dropping approval rating for the president, hitting 33%. These are the lowest approval ratings for a president since Nixon during Watergate. What makes the numbers worse is that aside from precipitous drops among independents, the poll shows falling numbers among Democrats as well. His speech on voting rights, which repeated the lies about what he has labeled Jim Crow 2.0, he's been spouting for most of the past year, was missing notable voting rights advocates and has been panned by those on both sides of the aisle as political spectacle. Biden ran on the promise that he would bring the country together. Using this speech, he called anyone who doesn't agree with him racists, further dividing the country. According to recent polls, those that don't agree with him on voting rights include 71% of the country and 69% of African Americans. Those voting rights bills, as well as the rest of Biden's agenda, were blown up this week by moderate Democrats who publicly stated they would not vote to repeal the filibuster. Schumer has remained steadfast that he would bring to the floor a vote to end the filibuster, but has pushed back the date. Despite Schumer and Biden berating moderate Democrats, Sinema, Manchin, and several others have not changed their position on defending the filibuster. As if this wasn't enough, Kamala Harris poured more fuel on the fire for the Biden administration. Appearing on NBC's Today Show, she gave an absolutely incomprehensible response to a question about COVID. Here's what she had to say.
Strategies. 6 former administration officials last week wrote that open letter urging the administration to change course, to change strategy. Is it time?
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree that there are things and tools that are available to us to slow this thing down.
What? In a time when the FDA, CDC, Fauci, and the Biden administration have all been criticized for confusing communications on COVID, this didn't help at all. It also showed yet again that Harris is not ready for prime time. She's recently stated that criticisms against her are based on her race and gender. Given that sources for most of those criticisms are the people in her own staff, and her comments on interviews like this, that claim has as much credibility as AOC's claim that Republican criticisms against her are because they want to date her. If all of that wasn't enough, the Supreme Court blocked Biden's vaccine mandate on large businesses. The court upheld the mandate for healthcare workers at facilities that receive Medicare and Medicaid funds. The court got these decisions absolutely right. What is important to understand is that the court did not rule on mandates per se, but on how mandates can legally be put in place. States have the right to impose mandates. Congress has the right to impose mandates, both by passing laws to require those mandates. The executive branch, and specifically federal agencies like OSHA, do not have this ability. The healthcare mandate was legal because it is a requirement for federal funds, which the executive branch does have the right to issue. And now we're going to our Wallet Watch segment. With inflation rising at the fastest rate it's gone up in 40 years, we need to know more about our money and know how to protect more of it. So there are a number of tax changes coming down the pipes and that are taking effect. We'll go to our Wallet Watch contributor, Bruce Anisi from Open Road Wealth Services, to help us through it. Bruce, tell us a little bit about what is going on with our money.
A lot of things are going on, Eric. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to your audience. So at year end, which we've just gone through, we usually hear a lot of year end tax tactics that we can deploy to help reduce the amount of taxes we pay when we make our filings in either April or October of 2022. So what I use is a tax reference guide, and generally they have some comparisons that will show us some of the changes that are being made to the tax laws. And I just struck on a couple of them that I thought are worth talking about. So the IRA contribution limits. Ordinarily, those are indexed to inflation, so that as the inflation rates go up, which we just mentioned, people can put away more money for the retirements. However, for traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs, they've made no changes at all to the limits. You can put away $6,000 for those age 50 or below, and that's the same amount as we had for 2021, and another $1,000 for those age 50 and above. So there's no help there from the government to put away more money for retirement. However, there are some other changes that have been made that are beneficial to folks who want to put away some money for retirement. Among those are SEP IRAs. Those are simplified employer pension plans, where they've raised the amount that you could put away from 58,000 up to 61,000. That's a 5.2% increase in the amount that you can put away. So if you're a small business owner and you want to put away some money for yourself for retirement, this might be an area to look to be able to put away more money. There's other plans that have had similar changes, not quite to the same magnitude as the SEP IRAs, but consult with your local financial planner, and they'll be able to guide you through those. One other item that has changed with the new tax law is that the required minimum distribution tables have been adjusted. And I found one particular age bracket that I was working on with a client, and under the old rules, this gentleman was going to have to take out 4.37% of his retirement assets as an income stream and pay taxes on it. Under the new table, he only has to take out 4.07. Now, that seems like a very small amount, but when you start to extrapolate that out over the next 23 years that the life expectancy table tells him he may have, that little difference means that he can leave more of his money invested and continuing to grow, as opposed to being forced to take it out as an income stream and pay taxes on it. So those are some of the things that I noticed that the new year has brought us with the new tax law changes.
Excellent. Good information for everybody to know. Check, everybody's situation is different, so be sure to check with your advisor. But these are good tips, especially with the new tax laws and everything that's going on. Watch your wallet. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com/podcasts, as well as the Apple Podcast app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, and wherever you find podcasts. We'll see you next time.